Hi, and welcome to this episode of the Magellan Network Show. Hey, in this episode, I want to continue our Excellence in 2021 program here in terms of what you need to do to elevate. It's so interesting. Advisors, at least if you're watching me and listening to me, my belief is that you're one of those 5%ers who really want to go ahead and take their game, both personally and professionally, to the next level. And a lot of times, I think there's a misconception of what that entails, or what has to happen. So let's unpack that for this episode, if we can. First off, I think if I think about what advisors have told me in my career of what they think they need to do, I'll hear things like, "Well, I've got to get more organized. I've got to be a better marketer. I've got to, X. I mean, there's always these actions we want to take, right? I've got to get up earlier. I need a daily game plan. I need to ask for more referrals. I need to be more authoritative. There's always this list, if you will, of things that an advisor wants to do to kind of get themselves to the next level. And they're all accurate, by the way. So that's no such thing as a bad idea when it comes to that stuff. But if you really think about it, chances are, it's not the first time that you've said to yourself, "I'm going to do a better job at," or "I'm going to do," or I need to do more of, right? Better mores, right? Those two words are very dangerous in our game. And here's why. Better. What does that really mean? And, how do you measure it? How do you quantify it? See, if it's not clear, how can you take action on it? More. Well, one more, five more, 1,000 more, 1,000,000 more. Again, it's nebulous. How do we know? So if you're framing things in your mind as "I've got to do a better job, I got to do more of," this is why you're not moving forward for long periods of time. I'm not saying you couldn't motivate yourself for a couple days and, we suck it up and make it happen. I mean, I'm sure you've tried that many, many times in your career, to some short-term successes, right? But then we always revert back in most cases. And the reason why, number one, it's not clearly defined. Number two, you've not really articulated it as to why it's a must, right? Why it's a must. And the third piece is that your business, and I don't care if you're running a solopreneur lifestyle practice, you and maybe a part-time assistant, or we're sitting on $1 billion wealth management team. Here's the reality, that your business is a reflection of you. It's a reflection of your psychology, your beliefs, your values, all that. And so when we get into the more better game, it's not the game. It's not the right game. The right game is, what do I need to do to evolve me, to really elevate who I am, to take myself to another level personally and professionally. So here's where there's no bifurcation. You can't sit there and say, "Well, I'm going to go get my CFP, I'm going to go get an MBA, I'm going to go get a CFA. I'm going to work on the professional side of me because I know if I'm smarter, I'll make more money." And I'm not saying that's not true. It's not going to give you the breakout that you want. You'll be smarter, you'll make some more money. You'll probably get an okay return on your investment of time, money. Where the real juice is, where the real leverage is evolving and revolutionizing who you are as a person. This is my specialty. And this is, for most coaches and consultants that you'll run across, it is 1,000 times easier to deal with segmentation, systems, practice management, because all they're going to do is plug in what they do, right? Nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying systems are bad. But if you think, "Well, I need more systems, I need better systems, like I need a marketing system, I need a client management system, I need a client service model," if you believe you need those, that's your truth, and you're probably right. However, that will still not give you a breakout. You'll get a good return on your investment. It will make you better at what you do. There's that word. It's not going to revolutionize things. So what revolutionizes things? Bottom line, how do you make an improved version of you? How do we make John 2.0 or Sally 3.0 or Terry 4.0? Right? That's what matters. Your business is a reflection of you. So where the energy needs to be is getting you to be a better version of you. So how do we pull? What does that all entail, basically? Number one, what are your true facts? So what are they? And if you really were to sit down and we're not going to ask you to articulate anything here, obviously. What are your fears? What are your issues? Where do you sabotage yourself? Like don't tell me, tell yourself the truth. Right? Where do you kind of don't make things happen? Right? Next. Who do you associate with? So, like we did last week, remember if you go back to last week's episode, where I said, hey, I've been really just kind of truncating out people. Remember the 3 buckets? They give you energy, neutral, they're thieves. They take your energy, right? I hope many of you start to kind of empty the thief bucket out. But associations matter, right? They do. And what is your commitment to personal development? So not professional development, not CFPs and CFAs and MBAs and all that jazz and IRA mastery and all that other stuff. Again, important, but not going to be the game changer for you. What are you going to do for you? How do you get better at you? And I'll give you all examples. So, for some of you, you need a nutritionist and a personal trainer. Like, if you get up, remember, what are we made up of as human beings? Let's talk about what is a man, what is a woman? Right? What do you believe? What's important to you or your values? How do you measure them? Right? We call them rules. Self-image. Self-talk. Internal dialogue. And there's like a 6th one. How do you define failure to yourself? 6 things, right? If you improve your belief set, your business will improve. If you get clarity on your values and your rules, your business will improve. If you don't like your self-image or you have poor self-image because maybe you don't like the way you look, maybe you're overweight, maybe you just don't like the vibe, let's change it, right? Getting an MBA is not going to fix that. Getting a nutritionist, personal trainer, maybe a stylist, that would fix that. Internal dialogue. Who you hang with. What inputs are you taking, right? In essence. What's your self-talk? How do you improve that? How do you redefine what failure means? See, that's the secret. If I look at my clients over my career, and I'm not talking about the ones that do, 5 or 10% a year. I'm talking about like they triple their business. Like they transcend, right? It's like if you look at them today versus 5 years ago, they're not the same human being. Like we're talking that kind of change. Tripling of top line and bottom line. That kind of change. It's because they decided that they were going to massively overhaul who they are as people. Elevate the person, the practice follows right behind it. The way it works. A lot of you, I think, are under a false premise that if I elevate, I got to get my business. At the end of the day, you're the business. So maybe you need to reframe how you view things. And maybe you need to spend, and this is like an exercise, so I want you to think about this for a second. Maybe what you need to do is get a mirror, go somewhere quiet, maybe even at home. You can keep your clothes on. We're not going to do that. And just, what do you see when you see yourself? What comes to mind? What's the dialogue? Are you lucky? Do you know you're a BSer? Are you an imposter? Like, what shows up? Right? What shows up? Because that's how you make massive change. You want to elevate? Don't play in the margins. You need to go all in on yourself. You need a personal development budget. So what is that? That is basically you're reinvesting back in you. I'm often asked, Joe, what percent should I spend on, what percentage of my practice should I spend on marketing? What percent should I spend on HR, my team? What percent should I spend on overhead, right? And there's so many variables there, right? Are you having 10,000 square foot on the 50th floor Taj Mahal office, or you're working on your house, right? Radically two different numbers. So you can average things, but again, it's all going to be situational. Here's the one thing I can tell you as a fact. The more money you invest in you, the faster your game develops, period. And I don't care if it's with me, or you'll get a personal trainer, or you get a marketing coach consultant, or you go hire Marie Kondo, right, to organize your stuff at home in the office. Whatever you want to do, minimum 10% of your top line put back in you. I've got guys who can do 15, 20%. The fascinating thing about those guys and gals, their game is just faster. Think about this. If you've got a $500,000 top line and you got $50K to reinvest in you, that's going to get you certain things. You got $1 million top line and you got $100K, you're the best of the best. Best masterminds, best coaches, several coaches, personal trainer, whatever you want, right? Masseuse, all that. Make you better you. So let me ask you this question before we say goodbye on this episode. How much do you invest in yourself? And what a lot of you have done is your business does this and your lifestyle is right. Like in other words, there's no margin. Delay certain things. Be patient. So many advisors, I did $300,000 last year in income, so I'm gonna have a $300,000 lifestyle. And then they can't shift and pivot and elevate, so now their lifestyle is almost above their business, and that's a dangerous place for a lot of reasons. None of you have a job. It's a business, it's an opportunity, it's an entrepreneur. You're an entrepreneur. I hate when advisors say my job. It makes me want to vomit. None of you have a job. What you do have is a responsibility to be great. For many of you, it's about time you take yourself up on that responsibility. So, in closing, real quick, if any of this made sense and you get me, I get notes a lot of times from people about what I do, how I do it. So let me be very clear. I'm not like any other coach you'll work with. I tend to only attract the 5%ers. And when I say 5%, let me be very clear on that. It's not the economic 5%ers. It's the 5% that get what I just said. The 5%ers are ready to do the work. The 5%ers are ready to evolve. Give me 100 advisors in the room, I'm going to pick 5. There'll be 5 of them that are going to want to talk to me. The other 5, they want to go do practice management stuff because it's easy. If you're ready to do the hard work, MagellanNetwork.net. Come hang with me for a couple weeks. Let's see if you're a good fit. If not, no harm, no foul. Are you one of the 5%ers? Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching this episode of the Magellan Network Show. So there you have it. If you really enjoyed watching this episode, go ahead and subscribe to the Magellan Network Show with Coach Joe here on YouTube. And remember, I'm always here to help you become a better entrepreneur, business owner, and financial advisor. With that, I'll see you next time on the Magellan Network Show with me, Coach Joe. Take care and goodbye.